Hi, it's Darnell with Wave Recipes, and this is my review of the Bella 4-quart TriZone Air Fryer. So let's go ahead and get it unboxed. Alright, so now that everything's unboxed, let's see what you get with it. There is a quick start guide. There's also a manual here, and the manual doesn't include any actual recipes, but it does have some cooking charts for guidance here. Let me see. Yeah, there's some more cooking chart information. So they do give you some tips on cooking times of things. It comes with the basket here that has a divider, so you can kind of split the basket into two sides. And it also has these air fry racks. These air fry racks do have little silicone things on the bottom of them. You don't remove those. You absolutely keep those in place. They are to keep the metal from the racks from scratching the metal inside of the basket. Now let's look at the power cord. It does come with a cord management strap, which is good. And so it's a pretty nice length cord here. It's a two-prong polarized cord, and the cooker is 1200 watts. Now what's interesting about that is that the Slim air fryer, which is also reviewed here on the channel, the 4-quart single basket slim air fryer, is 1300 watts. But this one, where you can cook on different sides and things of that sort, is just 1200 watts, so 100 watts less. It's pretty interesting that it was made like that. But we'll see how it performs. Now with 1200 watts, it would be a good idea to try and avoid having other things on the circuit with it, unless it's something very low in wattage. And this cooker has 6 cooking functions. Its temperature ranges are 90 degrees Fahrenheit to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll check that. The time ranges are 1 minute to 24 hours. Depends on function for that. The dimensions are 10.91 inches in height, 13.27 inches in width, and 9.99 inches in depth. It's a 4-quart capacity cooker in total, so basically you can split things on two sides to have 2 quarts on each side, or use just the whole big basket and you get 4 quarts. And so with that, they mention that you can hold up to 3.3 pounds of food. And they do give an interesting tip. They say, do not set 2 extreme opposing temperatures in each zone. Even with the basket divider in place, the temperature from the hotter zone can affect the cooking temperature in the other zone. And so I think that's a good tip for them to mention, because sometimes people buy these thinking that this little divider here is going to offer enough protection to keep the temperature on each side totally distinct and unique, and that's not the case with these sort of slim dividers. So it's a good caution there by Bella on that one. And they do mention that this cooker has Evergood ceramic non-stick coating, and they say that that is PFAS, PFOA, PTFE, lead and cadmium free. So some interesting stuff there, but always do your own research on that. And the cooker weighs 11 pounds. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you around the cooker, so you just get a look around things. You see the front here, see the sides. There's nothing on the sides, but on the top there is air vent that's probably intake. On the back you have air vent that is probably like venting outward, letting air out there. And underneath, you see there, you've got like the little rubber feet down there. And so that's basically your look around. Now I do want to mention, as we get further into this review, if it does reach a point that is not to your liking, remember there is the chapters feature to go to a different point in the video to your liking, or you've got the chapters also time-stamped in the video description. Also here on this channel, there are over 900 videos of basically 90 different cookers, and so you can always check out plenty of other videos here on the channel as well. Alright, so now I'm giving you a close-up view of the cooker. We'll get things plugged in a moment, but you see the display has a lot going on. All that will be explained in full detail for you. And when we open up the basket, we see the basket there, and it's got the room for the divider there. And so you can like put the divider in. It's got an arrow to let you know how it goes in. So we'll slide that right in here. See if I can get it in there properly. There we go. So you get that in, and then you've got your air fry racks that you can put in on each side. Set that down there. Set that on down there. So that's how you put those in, and then you put it in. Or if you wanted to go without, you could pull this out and, you know, have both sides open. And of course you can cook on one side or the other, but we'll get into that later. Now you see inside you've got the interior there, all metal interior there. When we look up top here, we see an ambient probe over here. So there's an ambient probe. And over here, ambient probe. So both sides have their own ambient probe. They have large heating coils and fans above each side. So that's your look inside of things. Alright, so let's do some independent measurements here. And we see on height, it is just around that 10-inch mark there on the height. I guess, you know, with this inside here just a little more raised than this part. Yeah, it's about, you know, around 10, a little over 10. Now let's measure things on the side to side here. We do have, you know, in that 13-inch range. I mean, kind of the edges there. It's in that 13-inch range there. And going front to back, and I'm going from the back to the handle, I'm getting, yeah, I mean, it's very close to 10 inches there. I mean, it's about 10 inches, roughly about 10 inches. Now I'm going to go inside and check out the basket situation. Now, if you're doing like, you know, without the divider, you've got about 11.5 inches, almost 11.5, not fully 11.5. This way we've got almost 7 inches, almost, but not fully 7. This way we got 12 inches. Now one basket and just the general depth, you get almost 3 inches, but not 3 inches. One basket, you get almost 6 inches, but not 6 inches. And here we get almost 7 inches, but not 7 inches. And you get about 8 inches that way. So gives you some thoughts about the basket sizes. So now we have the Bella TriZone that has the basket divider next to the Bella Slim 4-quart air fryer. Full review of this is also on the channel. And so basically we can see front to back, and this is by design for the slim one. It's longer front to back, but side to side it's slimmer because it was designed to be slim. The slim one's also just a little taller, so that's interesting. And getting the baskets out, you see here the baskets are interesting size there. I think because of the divider, when you account for space for the divider, the 2-basket one looks a little bigger, but I think that's because they're accounting for some divider space there. But otherwise, these baskets, I mean, they're the same height basket. So, same height, almost the same that way and this way. So, pretty interesting there. Now we've got the Bella next to the Ninja Foodie XL 2-basket air fryer. Full review of this is also on the channel. The Ninja XL has 2 5-quart baskets, 10 quarts in total, so of course it's bigger in every way. But just wanted to show you side by side, and I also wanted to show you the difference between an air fryer that has this divider situation that, as Bella says themselves, can't keep heat from one side carrying over to the other side, and a true dedicated 2-basket air fryer. And you know, this is one 5-quart versus the 4-quart on the Bella, but the Ninja's is a taller, let's see if I show you this way, I think you can better recognize that the Ninja basket is just a bigger basket, it's a taller basket. So this 5-quart basket is bigger, you know, overall. But the Ninja having 2 dedicated baskets, I want to show you. Inside, you see that the Ninja has a dividing wall inside, a dedicated thick dividing wall, as well as the baskets having metal themselves. And that does, and you can see in videos about this on the channel, it does divide the heat on both sides so that one side is not really getting impacted by the heat from the other side as much as you have here. Here, it's virtually no impact from one side to the other. Whereas with something like this with a divider, it's going to be a little more of an impact, and that's why they tell you to not go too extreme with the temperature differences. Whereas with this one, you can go pretty extreme on the differences, and I have videos here on the channel and things turn out pretty well for both sides. Alright, so let's do an initial plug-in of the cooker. So get that plug in. You see, as soon as you plug it in, things flash for a moment, and then they go out. Alright, so I've got the camera up close so you can see everything while I talk about all the functions. So first we'll go ahead and turn things on. So here's our power button. So with that we turn it on. You see all the function lights light up, and I'll explain all of those in detail for you now. So basically when you want to do a cook, you could hit like air fry, and basically what it starts with, if you just hit air fry and you were to do, let's say, a temperature, you see both sides do the same, time, both sides do the same. It's basically assuming that you want the same on both sides, and this is what you would use if you didn't have the divider in and you wanted to cook on both sides equally because you were doing like a large batch cook. Or even if you had things divided with the divider, you just wanted to basically have things do the exact same thing on both sides. That's how things go out the gate. So to cook things on one side, instead of doing like both sides exactly the same, you turn it on, and then you hit the dual mode button there. Once you click that dual mode button, then your left and right are lit up, and you can pick a side. So let's say I pick the left side and air fry. So now I'm air frying on just the left side alone. I'm not doing anything on the right side. I could select my time and my temp, you know, and then if I wanted to add the right side, I don't have to, but if I wanted to add the right side, then I could click the right side and I can do like well, I got to click a function. So let's say I want to click the roast function here, and I can click the temp and I could click a time so that they're individually set. And so then if I were to basically click the start button to start things going, the start stop button here, basically would just start immediately cooking. If I wanted these two sides to basically end at the same time, instead of both sides just immediately starting, then I would click this sync button here. So once I click sync, then things are going to end at the same time because I click sync. So I'm doing like a dual mode sync. And what would happen here is, since I've got less time on the left side, this side would start running, and it would count down till it gets down to just 13 minutes left. Once it starts getting down to 13 minutes left, then this left side would kick in, and then both sides would count down together for the final 13 minutes. So that's kind of how you do a cook on the left versus cook on the right, and if you want things to just start going without a synchronized in, or to have a synchronized in, that's how you use those different functions there. So now let's talk about the individual functions and their limits and such. So first we have the air fry function. Air fry goes for 1 to 60 minutes. It's supposed to run at temperature ranges between 170 to 450. So I just want to confirm that, yes, it goes up to 450. And when I hold it down, and you see it goes very rapidly when I hold it down, it goes all the way down to, should be 170. So there we go. But before moving from air fry, I do want to mention that they do recommend that you turn or shake the food partway through when you're air frying, so please keep that in mind. Now I'll move on to the next function, which is the roast function. So actually I'm going to turn it off, turn it back on. Click on roast. And so on the roast function, you can go between 1 minute to 60 minutes, and cooking temperatures are between 350 to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Next function after that, it seems like I can't jump between functions. I have to turn it off, turn it back on again to get to the next function, which is broil. And with the broil function, things are locked at 450 degrees Fahrenheit. And you can do 450 for up to 30 minutes. The next function we have is the bake function, and bake can go for 1 to 60 minutes for 170 degrees Fahrenheit to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. The next function after that is the reheat function, and with reheat you can do 1 minute to 60 minutes for between 170 degrees Fahrenheit to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And the last function is the dehydrate, and with dehydrate you can do between 1 hour to 24 hours for temperature ranges of 90 degrees Fahrenheit to 170 degrees Fahrenheit. So now I'm going to do a temperature test. I've got 2 oven thermometers here, and so I'm going to take one, put it in here, one, put it in there, and try and close things up. Who knew? Well, looks like it's not going to work having them standing up, so I'm going to turn them to the side because I want to get a test of both sides. And so turn them to the side like that. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll just see what we get with that. And so going to turn things on and going to select the air fry. Going to go up to 450, the max for the temperature, and for time I'm going to go up to, let's say, 30 minutes. So there we go. And Lord willing, having them on the side won't alter their read at all, but still, I think we'll still get a pretty decent gauge of the temperature of things anyway. So with that, I'm going to hit the start button. I'm going to go ahead and let things run for a while. Alright, so now I'm doing a sound decibel check. You see the sound is in the very low 50s. So that's for a basket air fryer, that's the lower end. I mean, it's still going to be audible, but it's not as loud as some others. And the cooker did beep at the 10-minute mark, even though it's set for 30 minutes. I guess maybe at that 10-minute mark it wants to remind you to move the food around or something of that sort. But it did do some beeping at the 10-minute mark. And so I'm just feeling like right here, things don't feel hot at all. So no heat down there. Front, it's a little hot there, a little hot. But I can keep my hand there, but it's a little hot. Same for the side. I mean, it's not like, yeah, it's a little hotter over here, it feels like. It's not like burn your hand hot, but it's a little, now back here it's hotter. I don't want to keep my hand back there too long. I can put it there, but I don't want to keep it there long. Then you got the exhaust, so that's how things feel. Alright, so now I've got a thermal imaging camera on the cooker here, and so the areas that are red are hot, the area that is blue is cooler. If things were super hot, like 300, over 300 degrees, something would be white, but there is no white hotness. Nothing is super hot, but the hottest area being red is about in the 180s, I guess is what it's showing, the 180s, up around the upper parts of the door. The handle is cool, so you see the handle's totally cool, you're going to be fine there. And up at the display, touching the buttons and such, you're going to be, you know, just fine there. But kind of to the sides of the handles, that's where things are the hottest on the front. Now when I go around the side, there's kind of a hot spot down there on the lower part, like right here. Let's see, right here. Yeah, it's right here. Yeah, it feels hottest right there. So right around here, kind of that front area there on the side is where it's hottest. Then there's some more heat up top here on the side. Going around the other side, let's see if I can do this without, sorry, tapping the camera, but I did tap it a little bit. Other side's kind of similar situation there. A little heat over here, a little heat over there. Guessing the 180s there. And then just doing a read around the back, so you can can see around the back. It looks like, especially where the exhaust is coming out, things are hottest. Over the top, we see that things are, yeah, there's some hot areas over the top of it. So that's pretty interesting, getting that thermal view of things. Alright, so things have been going for a good while, so I'm going to open up. You see that it basically auto pauses when I open up. I'm just going to check one of my oven thermometers. It is reading 450 on one side. Other side, see what it's reading. It's reading 450 on the opposite side too, so 450 on both sides. Just stick it back closed. Things do start running again once I close it up. So let's see if I can make changes on the fly. So if I up time does go up. So it does allow me to change the time on the fly. It seems to do a beeping, well, flashing there for a moment. And then it accepts it. The temperature, likewise, I can go adjust the temperature a little bit. Then it does some flashing and let me know to change the temperature. Interesting, I didn't have the door fully closed there, but it was working, but the door was just a smidge open and it was running. So that's interesting. But you can make changes on the fly. You know, of course, always make sure that your door is snugly closed in, but I guess if you don't have it totally snug, it'll still run, because that's what happened here. Now I'm going to hit the start stop button. Well, actually when I hit start stop, it paused. So that's interesting. So start stop does pause. And then I hit it again and it starts running again. Let's see if I hold start stop. Yeah, so start stop is really like a start pause type of function. It's not a stop. So to stop, you have to basically just turn things off to actually end the cook. And now it's doing, I guess, a cool down fan sequence that I guess will run for a while. But if I turn things back on, well, actually, yeah, I guess that really turned it off because that ended the fan. I guess the fan would have run for a while if I had not done that. But let's go ahead, turn it back on. I hit air fry. It doesn't show what I had earlier, so there's no memory in the cooker at all. Alright, so after giving things a good amount of time to cool down in there, putting the baskets back in, I'm going to test basically one side and see how things carry over, or how much things carry over. So I'm going to go ahead and let's do the dual heat thing and do the left side and do the air fry over on this side, up that temperature to 450. I'm going to do 10 minutes of cooking time. We'll just let it go for 10. And so go ahead and hit start. And we'll see how hot it is on this side versus the side where nothing's running. Alright, so 10 minutes and things are done. So clean this one out. It's at its 450. The other one is reading about 150. So you got about 150 degrees carrying over to the other side from this side when only this side is running. So that's something to keep in mind when using the cooker. I also wanted to mention, it seems like when there's about a third of the time left, it does a beep to let you know to shake or move things. And it did it again this time when it's about maybe 3 to 4 minutes left. It did the beep again. So basically what they're doing is they're giving you the beep well after the halfway point, which is good, which is very smart, because anyone who's been using air fryers for a long time knows the halfway point is not the best point to flip. You want to flip sometime after the halfway point, because that's when that side that's got the heat coming down really starts cooking well, really starts browning well. It's after the halfway point, and so that's what they're doing here. So things with the design of this cooker were pretty well thought out to do that. So now I'm going to do a toast test. I've got a couple slices of my whole wheat light sourdough bread here, a buttered slice on the left side, unbuttered on the right. There is a video for how to make this bread here on the channel. And so I'm going to go ahead and put it on in here. I've already turned the cooker on and hit the air fry, and I'm going to go up to 450 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to take time down to let's say 6 minutes and see what it does with 6 on both of them. And we'll go ahead and, well, no, I'm going to do 7. Let's give it a full 7. Nice long time. Hit start. And we'll see what it does with that. Alright, so the time is up. And I'm going to get them on out of here. We'll get them plated real quick. Pretty interesting stuff going on here. I guess it'll continue its cool down. But while it does that, I'm going to turn the light on so you can see these a little better. And the cool down was pretty quick. I mean, not even a minute long cool down there. So we see that the unbuttered slice got a good cooking. The backside got a little bit of a, sear going through it. I just wanted to show you what it does on one side. If you wanted to get both sides, get some browning, of course you'd have to flip it. The buttered slice, the butter got a bit of searing up there, but pretty good cooking of the butter. Then we go in the back, got some seep through there. So pretty good toast test there. Alright, so here I've got my buckwheat flour waffle batter. I'll flash the recipe on the screen. And I've got a silicone waffle mold in there, and I've removed the divider. So I'm just going to take some of the batter and pour it on into the mold. I'll try and get some in there on all the sections best I can. Nice and even. Alright. Now that things are in there, let's see, yeah, that's good. Go ahead and close it up. And I'm going to turn things on, and I want to use the bake function, so that's bake there, and do the same on both sides. 350, 10 minutes is usually sufficient. Now I'm going to do 15 in case I need more time, but should be done in about 10. So go ahead and hit start. I guess I'll have to wipe things off while things are cooking here. Alright, so things have been going for 10 minutes and it starts doing its beep because it's in the last third of the cook. So I'm just going to check how things look now. Looks like things got a lot of good rise there, so yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm going to put it in and hit the stop button. Well, actually I got to turn it off, right? All it does is momentary cool down. See how things look. Yeah, baked very well. So it does a good job with baking. So now I'm going to do a two-sided air fry test. On the left side I'm going to have a frozen salmon fillet. On the right side I'm going to have some wings. They're frozen also from a local farmer. And I've got extra light olive oil on both of them. And I've also got some organic no salt seasoning and some lemon pepper seasoning on both of them. And so I'm going to go ahead and put the fish on that side there. Take the wings here, put them on this side, and going to close things on up. And so now I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to do like a dual cook thing. And then over here on the left side, I'm going to do the air fry. And on this side, I'm going to keep it at 375. And then over here on the right, well, actually for the time, might need up to 30 minutes, but not certain. But we'll see. A couple more. Now on the right side, I'm going to do a air fry. And I'm going to do 400, yeah, 400 right there. And I'm going to do 30 minutes on this side too. And I don't know if this will need longer or not. So, well, actually, I'm going to set it to, let's see, 35. Let's do 35 just to do a little different. And we'll do the sync for the end of this so that they synchronize on the end. And we'll go ahead and hit start. So this side that's going to finish 5 minutes, well, later than this side, is on hold while the other side cooks. Of course, We know there's going to be some carryover of heat, but we'll see how things go. Alright, so there's about 15 minutes left. I'm going to go ahead and see how things are doing. And we see that the fish is cooking. The chicken, I'm just going to move and separate the pieces of chicken so that they can finish cooking on the opposite side. There we go. I might check the fish after it gets down to 10 minutes left. I'm going to give the fish 5 more minutes and then I'm going to do a temperature check on it. And the wings, they might need a bit longer, but we'll let them go ahead and cook. Alright, the fish has been going for 20, the chicken for 25. Things are beeping. It feels it's time for a shake. But I'm going to go ahead and check the temperature on this fish now. It's like in the 180s, yeah, so it's pretty hot. So probably could have pulled it earlier at that rate, but it'll be good all the same. Let me check the chicken real quick. Yeah, the chicken's done too. Yeah, 190s. Wow. Yeah, this one, wow, I'm surprised. I mean, because these were just like stuck together a moment ago. Yeah, everything is done. So I'm going to go ahead and just get the wings on out of here. 4 wings. I'll turn the light on so that you can see things a little better. So give you a good look at the fish and the chicken there. Did a pretty good job. And I noticed if I click the stop button and then hit off, it'll do the cool down with the display totally off, which is kind of cool. Now I want to talk about cleaning the cooker. And of course you never want to immerse the main unit in water. And you want to use like a warm soapy dishcloth to clean things off, and then a wet one to wipe things down and then dry things off afterwards. And don't use anything abrasive. And you can soak the accessories if you need to. And there's no mention in the manual of anything in here being dishwasher safe. That's in the manual. I know that like some of the promotion Bella does for the Evergood coating, for some of that promotion they mention that the Evergood coating is dishwasher safe. However, I saw nothing in the manual and the cleaning instructions talking about putting anything in a dishwasher. Personally, I'm going to stick to just washing everything by hand. So let's talk about the warranty. The cooker comes with a 2-year warranty, which is very good. And so it was able to take care of everything that was given to it today. Did a nice job. So pretty cool for a 2-basket small air fryer. And I think that since it's a 4-quart type of a 2-basket air fryer, it's kind of small, it can do it with the 1200 watts, not needing a lot more to be able to perform. So that's cool. And so there's lots of ways to help the channel here. There's nothing in this video that's sponsored. Nothing in any of my videos are, and I like to keep myself as independent as possible. And so you can always check out my blog, superwaveovenrecipes.com. Again, that's superwaveovenrecipes.com. Buy me a coffee link is there. Also in the video description are lots of ways to help the channel, such as my cookbook, merch, membership, donations, link to the Amazon shop where you pay the same price, help the channel. Also buy me a coffee there in the video description link. And so, with all of that said, if you did like the video, please do give it a thumbs up, share the video with a friend, leave your comments, subscribe, hit that notification icon, and good eating.